The QPR podcast is sponsored by Florally Yours. Based outside Harrow-on-the-Hill train station and run by Kerry, a QPR fan, they can supply everything you need in the way of fresh flowers and plants for every occasion.
QPR, QPR, Six Park Rangers are on the up and up. QPR, QPR, now we're heading for the European Cup.
Hello and welcome to Open All Ours, the QPR podcast. I am David Fraser. It's the same four of us who did it last week. Different night of the week though. We usually do it on a Monday, and you will have noticed if you subscribe that the podcast didn't land on your iPhone, or other phones are available on Tuesday, didn't land on Wednesday because we are 2 days late this week. Gabe, engineer, would you care to shed any light on why we're late?
Because I missed my flight back from Copenhagen. It's all Motorola's fault.
I think we just say unforeseen circumstances. So we're all gathered here on Wednesday to do. As I've said, David Fraser, joined by Paul Finney.
All right.
Chris Charles.
Hello.
And Chris Mendes.
Hello.
And Gabe, the engineer. Slightly red, sheepish, but we're here. We got it on the road, as they say. Right, before we go on to anything else, if you're new to the podcast, you can follow us on Twitter at QPRPod. You can hear all our old episodes at qprpod.co.uk or find us on Facebook. Search for the new QPR podcast. Paul, you're looking quite glum today.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I've just been working. Sorry. I'm not glum. I'm always so miserable and pessimistic that perhaps that's my persona's changed to Mr. No, I'm not glum. I'm quite happy, actually. Okay, sorry about that.
That's all right.
I would change my face, but it's the only one I've got.
Well, there's quite a lot to go through. Quite a lot's happened in the last week. And actually, Gabe, maybe you missing that flight from Copenhagen was a blessing in disguise, because we wouldn't have been able to talk about Connor Washington.
A lot has happened, yeah.
Which is one of the things that has happened since Monday. There's Connor Washington to talk about. There's Charlie Austin to talk about. There's general club January transfer window. There's Joey Barton. Why? What's he said now? Has he said something?
He's come out and said that basically it wasn't his fault. He was in a very poor QPR side, and he was actually...
What wasn't his fault?
Us getting relegated and stuff. And
nothing's ever his fault, is it? It's always someone else. Everyone else is an idiot apart from him.
That's Joey sorted.
To be fair, what was he? Who was saying it was his fault? Or did he
well,
just
it's one of the things. It's kind of like we said. But he always said he came. Well, I just said on Twitter, I hope he does a Burnley podcast and talks about us for an hour. Yeah, because that'd be good, wouldn't it? I seem to remember doing a podcast when we learned an awful lot about Newcastle that night.
You are referring to our episode where Joey Barton came into the studio in 2011. He came in for 2 hours, for anyone that hasn't listened to it. 2011.
Lord,
he came in.
He
came in for 2. God, that's 5 years ago now. Yeah. 4.5. He came in for 2 hours, and it was a brilliant.
It was
podcast,
great.
It was really good. But he did talk about Newcastle for a large part.
He came with an agenda. He was calling Mike Ashley the Ayatollah, as I seem to remember. And a couple of times I said, anyway, back to QPR. No, I want to get this off my chest. It was like, whoa.
So anybody that does want to listen to that, there's an archive that's hosted on India's site. I think if you go on indiars.co.uk and you scroll down to our little channel, underneath there it says archive, and if you go to our first season, which was 2011-2012, I think it's called the Joey Barton special. So if you want to listen to it, go and listen to it.
The silver lining about the Charlie Austin transfer is that we don't have to read all those tweets from Newcastle fans anymore begging him to join them.
So where shall we start? Should we start?
I tell you what, they must have took that badly, eh? Sorry, go on.
Where should we start? Shall I? Maybe I'll say a sentence I don't think I've ever said before. Should we start at Rotherham?
Rotherham. Yeah, it was fine. I mean, first half they absolutely. I mean, if you looked at the stats, I didn't look at the stats, so I don't know, but they must have been pretty bad because they hit the post and they put us under a lot of pressure, and we nearly buckled a few times, and we thought, okay, this is going to be another wait for a win, get a draw. Second half, started on fire. Absolutely caned them. It was interesting. What, go on.
Quite ironic that like 3 or 4 hours after selling Charlie Austin, we score 3 goals in one half.
It was
failed to score many goals at all.
We've beaten Rotherham 7-2 this season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I get doesn't really count in league matches, but I hear what you said. But the funny thing is,
all right, they're not 2 legs.
No,
just making sure.
Thank you. But what was funny was that the Rangers fans on Saturday were going through the whole A to Z of QPR players because I don't know why, but it was just like, you know, it started Kevin Gallen's magic hat, and then just like everyone was just getting like Shih Tzu song was coming out again, and it's just almost like
Free agent,
they
35 years
didn't
old.
want to sing the
Get 'em
current
on.
players' names, and hopefully on Saturday we can go back to singing some new songs about the players we got.
That's happened a few times in the past, though, hasn't it? I mean, it's almost like sometimes that happens when everyone's in a good mood, like it's like the party spirit. And, you know,
There's nothing wrong with
but,
it. It was
yeah.
really weird. Someone said to me, "Jesus Christ," and he started singing the Steve Wicks song. He's going, "Let's
That
go
is one
way
of the-
back, way back."
That
let's-
is one of the best songs ever.
And then someone behind that was then going to sort that. Let's start with Rodney. So but it was good. But then of
that one
course,
for George Goddard, do you think? Or, back in the day?
he had
I think
some
it was
good-
just all polite. Yeah,
How
very
much-
well done, George.
Let's do this radio thing. How much would George Goddard be worth these days?
Yeah,
That goal
quite.
scoring rate. But the good thing is, and then of course you got the new song for Poulter, which is "We've Got a Big
Yeah.
Geezer Up Front." And so the mood changed.
Done
from-
well. 3 and 4, 3 and 5.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That sort of gladdens me
That
to
was
hear.
good.
I mean, I sort of knew that was going to be a song, but only if he only. That's a cult hero song. That is.
Yeah.
That's a sort of Devon White. I'm not saying he's in the same mold, but I think. Do you know? I
Devon
said it
White
on
was
here
a German.
at the time. The moment he sent that tweet was the moment I warmed to him because it showed me that he'd got passion and he wanted to do well here. I know it was out of order. You shouldn't really do that, but in the heat of the moment, it just showed to me that he was knocked off about not playing. Wanted
Yeah.
to show everyone what he could do, and I think you can't argue with that. He's given a run and he's done the business. So good on him.
Him and Washington would be quite an interesting partnership, as it would be if we signed Bamford, which is the latest rumour doing the rounds as well.
What do we think on that? Journalists amongst us?
I go back to
What are we saying about Bamford?
Well, he's proven that he can score goals at that level. Last season for Middlesbrough, he scored, I can't remember exactly how many, I think he scored 19. And then in the playoff final, he was kind of injured, coming back from injury, didn't really play very well. But I don't see any harm in signing him. It would be a good move for us.
Didn't he score against us? We had a behind closed door friendly, didn't we, against Chelsea yesterday or
Or
the day
did he
before?
score? Did he score?
I thought we lost 5-0. I'm pretty sure that was the result. But I
He
thought
played in the playoff final against us.
I'll
didn't
check
he?
that while we're on.
Yes,
sure
he
he
came
did.
on right at the end, yeah. Which is a great time for us.
I'll check that and come back to you. The stats from the first half at Rotherham, they had 13 shots to our 3, 1-0 on target, 5 corners to our 1. And by all accounts, they were bossing it. So, whatever happened in the second half, whether Jimmy's, delivered a fine bit of prose and got them all going, I don't know. But
Well, that's the good thing about having a solid defence, where Hasselbank sets teams up to kind of not concede. So even if you are battered in the first half, you're still 0-0 and you've got a chance.
Yeah.
I think the difference is playing Ned and Gareth together. I say Gareth. I'm thinking Ian's a bit funny.
I was thinking, hang on. We were all looking at each other. Gareth?
I was listening to the Ainsworth interview earlier on, which I want to talk about, which is brilliant, by the way. It was in my head to mention the podcast. No, Grant, that's going to be...
Grant Hall, yeah.
That's me getting slaughtered into
Or
it.
Hawley, as we're all supposed to call him.
Them two together, they've got to keep them together because you've got to get a partnership going, and they actually suit each other so well.
Yeah.
And, I think whatever happens to fullbacks, keep them two together.
I
They're
agree.
also our 2 best centre-backs at the club, so here's an idea. Why don't we play our 2 best centre-backs
Well,
at the club?
Stop that craziness.
The whole reason that it was broken up was because the chief was shunted out to right back, and by the
Which he's not good at.
15th manager, whatever it is, and everyone knows that he can't play right back.
Yeah.
Or he can, but not that.
Also,
good.
it's going to be weird that in the year of everyone talks about QPR big signings, the money we've wasted, or a player of the year is probably going to be a free transfer signing from Tottenham. That takes us back. That makes us a little bit more grounded.
Yeah, got to give Chris Ramsey credit for that because he worked with him at Spurs, so you
Yeah.
obviously knew him. And if he wasn't in charge at that time, we probably wouldn't have signed him.
Yeah.
Saw Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank said today wants a British core, British spine, or something like that through the club and through the team. I beg your pardon.
British backbone.
British backbone, and that whilst it wouldn't preclude us signing the right a foreign player, it would have to be the right foreigners, and that he wants to base it on British players, which is somewhat of a departure from the last 2 or 3 managers, and definitely the approach of the club in the last few years, because we have signed some. We know all about the kind of horrors of signing the likes of what's his name, the chap from United, South Korean, which Exactly. Which actually is not so much to do with them being foreign, is more to do with them, I suppose, being... I don't know. But what I guess I'm getting to is, what do we think of that?
I think that's good, because Fernandes, all the people he's employed, if you just take Chris Ramsey out of that equation for a minute, Mark Hughes, Harry Redknapp, and even Hasselbank himself, he's gone for people that he thinks can attract the best players to the club because they've had distinguished careers, whether it's as a player or a manager. And even when he did employ Chris Ramsey, they put a clause in there saying that they'd keep him when they got rid of him. So they kind of almost half expected him to go anyway. But to hear a manager like Hasselbank, who's a big name, to say, he's not necessarily fussed about signing the big players from abroad, and he must have good contacts abroad because he's from the Netherlands and he's worked in Belgium as a manager. I think that's a good thing. It's good to get players in who understand the culture of English football. And already you've got quite a haul.
It's a bit of a nonsense when they say British players, because that isn't what they mean. They mean British players who understand British football.
Yeah.
Would you sign Vincent Kompany? Yes, of course you would. He's a British player, if you see what I mean. He's Belgian, but he understands perfectly the whole British system, British culture, and how you play football. And there's tons of other foreign players, so it's a bit clumsily worded. But I guess what he means is someone that understands the league.
Personally, I don't give a rat's arse where they come from, as long as they give a shite about the football club and want to take the club forward and buy into the philosophy, which is more important than anything. I think that's what he really is trying to say. We don't want. He can't say mercenaries, players on the way down. So he's trying to be creative with his talk. I take that as because you got
there's plenty of British mercenaries.
Absolutely.
Jermaine Pennant signed for a club in Singapore yesterday in an unrelated development.
and the signing on fee was at Hyundai, a new Hyundai.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it?
Really?
Yeah.
They've given out a few old bangers in a time.
Okay.
They're all bangers, of course. So I don't want to get sued.
Have we done Rotherham?
Yes, we have. No,
okay.
There was one. If I can find it very quickly.
You find it. I'm just going to talk about these chunky knits that we've got on display here, which, of course, people who
Did
are
you say
listening,
knits?
chunky knits. That's what they call these big jumpers.
Mine is 3 and 4.
Finney and Mendes are sporting a good couple of chunky knits here. You're doing yourselves proud, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Have I filled enough time for you to find that, Chris?
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
That was excellent.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, there's just a couple of things I saw via the message boards. One from the QPR player commentary in that game. They said, it seems strange to say, but the QPR players are running about with vigour.
Okay.
But there you go.
Actually, what do we make of the goalie situation?
It's odd, isn't it? Because we're now talking about allegedly swapping McCarthy for Green, which is weird. I thought he'd done well Saturday. He didn't do anything wrong. And to be fair, the young lad didn't do much wrong when he came between the sticks as well. So, to be fair, both are doing okay. I think, why not keep the two we've got, get through the season, and then you're going to hopefully develop a good number one, and then Lumley can learn.
But the club are faced with that conundrum with Green, where he's on big wages and he's played 30 games, and
Green.
if he plays another 5, then automatically he gets a new contract
In
on
that
those
case,
same
don't
wages.
play.
Don't play him. The margins are not as tight in this league as they are in the Premier League that you need, like it matters, if you're Chelsea, sorry to bring this example, Cech last season, amazing goalie, Courtois, amazing goalie, but Courtois marginally better, so you play Courtois. I don't think you need to make that calculation in the Premier League, in the Championship. They're all goalies of a reasonable, good standard, and Smithies is a good goalie. It's not going to be worth 10 more points playing Green in a season over Smithies. So for that reason, I would be with you and play Smithies.
And also, you could ask anyone to do their Championship team of the season so far, and no one would put Green in it because he hasn't been the best goalkeeper in the league.
It's sad, because when he came on the podcast, he was all right. I think as a person, he's all right.
Well, we're good on the podcast, but we're not very good at football.
Well, speak for yourself.
I'm not having a
I'm
go
not
at
good at
him.
either.
I'm not having a go at him. I'm sure he'd agree that he hasn't been the best goalkeeper in the league this season as well.
I just think he wants away. Clearly, he wants away. I think he's had enough. There's only so many times you can hurt your back, pick the ball at the back of the net like he did last season. Perhaps he wants to go on to other things. I was surprised he's enjoying West Ham. I'll be even more surprised he's enjoying Bournemouth before the end of the transfer window.
You've heard it here first.
Not that I know
Someone who's
anything.
in the know.
Absolutely. Jeez, I'm the last person to know. I know nothing. I don't even know my own name.
Oh,
I don't
big
even know
head,
I think I said it back called Gareth.
You're coming across as someone very in the know there.
No, I'm just saying.
I'd have to give you an OBE.
If I was Bournemouth, I would go for him because of their goal situation. That's all.
Right,
I don't know
sure,
anything.
sure.
I don't even know what our centre back's called. Gareth.
I'll just check that Patrick Bamford factor. Yeah, he did score twice against us.
Is he as good as Gary Ainsworth?
Oh, what, in this friendly, behind the closed doors friendly?
Yeah, and Charlie Masonda, who's also apparently a target for us, he scored as well, this under-21s.
We can't. I hope we're not judging people that score against us, because that could be fatal.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, that's true.
I do also think. Sorry, we haven't got there yet. But with the new signing, we're talking about Hasselbank and people getting
We haven't
managed on
talked about
board.
Austin yet.
That can attract people to the club. And our new signing, Washington, mentioned the fact that Hasselbank played a huge part in him joining. And if we did have Ramsey or someone else in charge at the time, maybe he would have joined somewhere else. There was talk of 10 other Championship clubs being interested in him.
But I think the other thing is that he can apparently he's got to declare for Northern Ireland and go to the Euros. Yeah. Interesting. But the thing is, he's
Okay.
hungry, he's on the up, he's got
Who are the
pace.
other Northern Ireland striking options?
Your man, and your man.
Who? Who
No,
are
it'll be Cal Lafferty, who doesn't play for Norwich these days very
Okay.
much. And then we've got Will Gregg, who I think is knocking around. There's McGuinness, who's playing in Scotland. There's Boyd, who's playing in Scotland.
Slim pickings, isn't it?
All right, we're not exactly England.
It's all about the teamwork, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but
Okay.
he's got there.
Team spirit.
I have to. Was it Greece who you beat in that final qualifier? It was Greece.
Yeah.
That was an amazing game, I have to say.
And the atmosphere was amazing.
incredible.
That
Anyway,
reminded me of Loftus Road of the Oldham game. The two were very similar in atmosphere.
Yeah.
but for League Two, which is no offence, but for League Two to beat Greece was incredible. Sorry, right?
Two, yeah.
Let's get on to Charlie Austin.
What if he won
I
since
did enjoy
66?
that game. I
Carry
watched
on.
it. I enjoyed that game. and watched it. Right.
Sorry to all the England
Charlie
fans.
Austin. There are two things we need to cover. First of all, gentlemen, your tributes to Charlie Austin for his efforts for the last 2.5 years and reflections on that. And second of all, the manner in which he's left, the fee, what we think of that, all the rest of it. Where would you like to start?
Well, I'm a bit younger than all of you, and so
Thanks for reminding
You quite
me.
enjoyed that, did you?
so when I first started watching QPR, Les Ferdinand was banging the goals in, and Charlie Austin is probably the best striker I've seen live at QPR since Gallen and Les Ferdinand, since those days. Spencer, yeah, he did well for us as well, but
I think he's a better finisher than all of them.
exactly, yeah, and it just seemed like so long. We seemed to sign players who'd done quite well for other clubs, but they never really did it for QPR. So it was great to have someone join the club for, at the time, relatively a good value, and just really do well in the Premier League. It's rare that you'd sign someone for £4 million and then they score 18 goals in the Premier League. And Southampton have just done it as well.
Is that what we signed him for?
Yeah, exactly the same fee. Yeah.
That was a very good. I thought you said it for 3.5, but you may well be right, Chris, because you work in media and I drive a van, so I'm going to bow to your excellence.
Yeah, I hope I remember that right. Yeah.
Yes. The thing about Charlie Austin is he is like Bannister. He is a natural finisher. He's a bit so was Spencer. But one thing about him as well is that he always looked like he enjoyed playing for us. You know, I don't. And the role that Redknapp gave him, which is to plough along by himself, he absolutely busted a gut every game. People forget that. For basically a strike, that's a hard role. But for someone like him, that was murder. And he did well. He never complained, got on with it. He never started the club off. He goes head held high as far as I'm concerned. The fee is a wee bit ridiculous, but what can you do? It is what it is. We just got to crack on.
I agree. Best finisher I have seen in my time since supporting QPR, and that is not to diminish how good a striker the likes of Les Ferdinand was, and Kevin Gallen and Gary Bannister and John Byrne and other strikers that I've seen, but they had very different type of game and different qualities. You gave him the ball, Gary Penrice, you gave him the ball at his feet, Charlie Austin, and there was an even money chance that he would stick it in the back of the net with either feet or with his head. Although if you put the ball at his feet, he wouldn't score with his head. I agree. He goes with his head held high. He will score a goal every other game wherever he plays throughout his career. He's kind of just one of those steady headers. You give him that ball and he'll score. And the thing,
Unless he plays in goal.
but even then he would probably score a goal every third game. He improved a lot. He really worked hard on his game last season in particular because I guess probably at the start of the Premier League season he was very much like a Gary Lineker type player in that in and around the box would score, not a lot else. He really worked hard. He got quite a lot of assists last year, and I know this because he was in my fantasy league team. He'd set up quite a lot of goals. He'd stick a few crosses in, and he worked hard. He'd help track back. It's an absolute outrage, the fee that we've got for him, and it's an absolute outrage, the circumstances which have led to it. And the club needs to have a good, long look at themselves because it's them that screwed it up. No doubt about it. And when they screwed it up was that summer we got promoted. Because if someone scored, what did he score in the Championship?
19 goals.
19 goals.
He was injured for a bit
with
of that
2
as well.
years left.
And his shoulder.
What are you thinking? I'm sorry, this isn't wise being after the event. What are you thinking? Get that guy on a longer contract than 2 years. Because what might happen is he might have a good season in the Premier League and then he's only got a year on his contract and then he's got you by the balls.
But do you not think
And so that came to pass.
Do you think they tried to?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think they did try, as far as I
They were
know.
too many
I mean,
times
you can lead a horse to water, etc., etc. I mean, if he didn't want to sign, then I suppose the alternative then is if he doesn't want to sign, then you sell him.
What,
don't
after
you?
the playoff final? You don't think Charlie Austin would have signed a
Well,
new 3 or
that's-
4 year deal after the playoff
That's
final?
what was put out. That's what I heard, that he was offered a new deal, but he didn't sign it. So whether that's true, I don't know. But I agree, of course. You know, and if you don't sign a deal, then maybe you sell him, maybe you cash in and you get 20 million for him or whatever.
I can't see how you can't go in the euphoria after that game and sit him down on the Monday and just sit there and go, you know what, Charlie, how good was that?
Well, everyone's
Seriously.
attention at the time was get Zamora back because he's just scored the winner, you know.
Well,
Because his contract was finished.
Torrey got a deal as well, didn't he? But you know,
2 years,
you sort of look at it, you think, yeah, I agree with you, but also but I would disagree a wee bit because this season clubs were bidding for him. I don't care what anyone says, there was bids made for him.
But it was 15 million in summer.
No, because he's got a year left of his contract. But the
I
club,
heard he didn't want to go.
but the club should have said to him, "Are you going to sign a contract?" No, when they're bringing the fee down to 8 million, let's be realistic. You know, whether we like it or not, that would have been realistic and not a bad deal. 4 million. Southampton have got the absolute bargain of the decade without a shadow.
But
of a doubt.
Southampton, that area, that means a lot to him, and that's probably why he decided to go rather than sit it out.
I think he held out. I think he could have gone in the summer, as we know. And I thought Leicester had put a £12 million bet in. That was the chat, but then someone else had said that wasn't confirmed. Apparently, Palace were in for him, but for various reasons, he Newcastle. But he didn't want to go. The move wasn't right for him. And I said at the time, I don't really blame him. I mean, the benefit of hindsight's wonderful. You know, with the benefit of hindsight, we should probably have kept Zamora because he's banging him in for Brighton at the moment. You know, and I think the thing that really knocked me off this though was when he said live on TV, "I'm definitely not going anywhere this summer," and I put 20 quid on him to be Championship top scorer. So next time I see you, Charlie, it's your round, mate. Because
I blame myself because when we
You
did,
blame yourself.
when we did the wedding. And
Right.
we got
This is Funky Flowers supplied the flowers
Yeah,
for his wedding.
I don't like to brag.
For those who don't know.
I should have sneaked
which is
something on
Paul's phone.
funkyflowers.com.
It's actually
No?
funkyflowerevents.co.uk.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway, so we should have put something underneath. Got to say, Charlie, you couldn't just sign this for us, mate, and then had him for 10 years.
Yeah.
So I
Were
fully
you
accept
like a
responsibility.
kid in a sweet shop at his wedding?
A little bit.
You have to behave yourself. You did.
No, that was
Did
fine.
you have
I was
Liz?
very
Did you have your good lady wife telling you to behave?
Did you do a knee slide on the dance floor?
no.
He wasn't a guest.
Oh, right.
Actually, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Wasn't a get? Oh, well, never mind. No, it was all right actually. It was fine. I was very professional as we are for every.
What
event
did he
we do.
have?
Flowers,
Yeah, what arrangement?
big ones.
Okay.
You can see it.
He just drives the van.
If you go on
doesn't
to
know.
www.funkyflowerevents.co.uk, you can see Charlie Austin's wedding for yourself, and that way I don't have to explain and ruin it and do a spoiler.
Very
Oh,
good.
brownie points for Forest up on Tuesday.
The
that is.
security guard on the driveway was a wee bit kind of complex because the fan's got all of the QPR stuff on it, and he's like stalker. I guess no,
Right.
florist.
Which is fair enough.
I think so.
Yeah. Sad to see him go. I think he obviously called the shots throughout this. I had heard not pardon the pun. I had not substantiated, but I had heard that he was the catalyst for the whole Saido Berahino fallout from West Brom, because that was lined up. Berahino was lined up to go to Spurs and threw his toys out the pram when he didn't, and the reason why that fell through was because Charlie Austin turned down going to West Brom, therefore not
that would
allowing
make sense,
Berahino to go. I have no idea if that's true or not, just
Yeah.
sort of
That's
something
a
that I
very
heard.
good
That would
idea.
make sense. But I mean, staying
Sounds
on just
about
on the, because we've talked about what a great player he is, and one of the best we've had since. I mean, I've it felt like a death in the family to when I found, even though I knew it'd been coming for ages, just really got me when I found out he'd gone. It sort of came out the blue because I thought when he said he was going to stay, that he was going to stay, and blah 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 blah. And I just want to say I just think he's been great on and off the pitch. I mean, he let's face it, 18 goals in a not very good team, in fact a bad team in the Premier League, is a bloody good return. He was on 7 goals in like 10, 11 games Championship this season.
I think he got more. He got 10 in 15, did he? 10 in 16?
He got 10, yeah. He's got 10 Championship goals. I don't know how many games he's played.
Did
That's
he?
almost as
God,
good
where
as
did
my-
I miss this?
That's almost as good as my Gareth mix-up.
Yes, that's
Carry on.
yeah.
Thank you for getting me out of jail.
Yeah. Thanks, Pete. But no, I just know he was great. The family days, he was the most player in demand. Everyone wanted a picture, everyone wanted an autograph, and everyone got one. He stayed right till the end, went around every single person, and he didn't need to do that. He could have made an excuse, cleared off. But I've got to say, I was very impressed with him all round. I'm very sorry to see him go, but good luck. And I'm just glad that we don't have to come up against him this season, because I know he'll do what Ferdinand did to us and like banging a hat-trick or something.
There was tears in my house on Saturday.
Well, okay, were you all right? Did your wife sit you down?
You have you have a heart.
After the announcement. Sorry?
You have a heart.
Not tears from me. No.
I was going to say.
Tears from a 6-year-old that
Yes.
Charlie was going. I remember how I used to get upset about stuff like that. I remember when Andy Sinton got sold to Sheffield Wednesday, and I was inconsolable for a day.
For 2.5 million, if I'm right.
2.75 million.
Yeah. You remember it well, don't you?
Yeah.
The only sad thing from me, and this isn't Charlie's fault at all, is that he got called up for the England squad and for a friendly against two games, one friendly against Ireland.
Slovenia, wasn't it?
Yeah, Slovenia, and then the friendly against Ireland, which was the most pointless game, and he never got brought on. And it would have been great to have a QPR player representing England. God knows when the next one's going to be.
It's going to be interesting to see whether he makes the Southampton squad this weekend after 4 weeks out with or 3 weeks out with a hamstring injury.
I have a sneaky suspicion he may well do. But I think he could get in the Euro squad. But to be fair, Hodgson's such an idiot, he probably wouldn't pick him anyway. But he should have been given a proper go, because he can still play for somebody else like Northern Ireland if he wants to.
Well, the rumour is that QPR...
You are so desperate.
He could.
How
though?
Well, because you did his flowers.
How would he get in their team though?
I'll doctor it.
Austin and Washington up front for Ireland.
But Northern,
Well, I'm glad we signed. Let's move on to Washington,
Yeah.
who we clearly signed because with the departure of Austin.
Before we do that, can we ask a stupid question?
Yeah.
Sorry, what is your favourite Charlie Austin moment? Sorry, David, I'm doing your job there, sorry.
Hat trick. It was against West Brom, wasn't it? Hat trick against West Brom, because we were 2-0 down in that game.
Yes.
We came back to win it, and I don't even know if I can actually remember the goals. I don't think they were particularly spectacular, but it was the pride in a QPR player scoring a hat trick in the Premier League, which had not happened for 20 years, for a long, long time. I think since Les. I think Les was the last one to get a hat trick, and that's when I thought this guy is the real deal.
No, that's right.
I've got 3. The first one is when he scored against Southampton away, because it was an amazing goal. The second one is when he scored against Chelsea away, because he scored against Chelsea away, and it was another good goal, a little flick. And the third one was when he threw John Terry on the floor when we played Chelsea at home.
Yeah. Yours, Paul?
You just nicked it.
Yeah, he nicked mine as well. Right, off we go then.
Thinking quickly after that. Bastard.
Your favourite Charlie Austin moment is his wedding.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes. And also my second favourite Charlie Austin moment actually recently was the last goals he scored for us, because they were very decent, and Brighton,
Yeah.
and he dug us. That could be one of the parts where we turned the corner somewhat. And I can't believe you mentioned Chelsea, because I was going to do that one.
Chris?
Well, yeah, I mean, I was going to mention both those Chelsea ones. So
He did enjoy that Chelsea goal, though, didn't he?
yeah, very much so, and the hat trick. So yeah, that's the perils of going last, as they find on Pointless sometimes, which you regularly co-host, as we know.
Don't get this. For anyone that doesn't listen regularly, Chris thinks I look like the guy off Pointless.
I don't know about look. It's just I think
Richard
sound
Osman.
maybe.
Richard Osman.
But then people think I look like Martin O'Neill. It's ridiculous. I know.
I think
You've
it's
got too
more
much
Martin
hair
O'Neill
today.
looks like you.
I think Pointless more describes you.
But thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Charlie Austin.
Indeed. And thank you. And don't score when you come back. Just wave.
And one thing, I mean, when he put his message out on Twitter saying thanks, had some good times, I scrolled down it. There must have been 150 replies. There was not one on there trolling him and saying you this or that. Everyone was just saying thanks a lot and good luck.
Even
So,
my daughter follows him because she loves his dog, the little pug he's got. Sorry, carry on.
And so from Austin, Austin goes
Different
a
state.
short hop, to Washington. Presumably,
very
we've
good.
signed him for reasons other than he has a name of an American.
I saw
city.
your joke actually on Twitter. That's
Did
one
you
of the-
like it?
It actually made me laugh, which is the first time ever
Ding
you've
ding
done
ding
that.
ding ding ding.
Seriously, well done you.
What do we know about Washington?
Well, I know quite a bit, but I'm going to let you talk first, because I've my mate, who's a Peterborough United season ticket holder, has given me the lowdown.
Well, when you go first then?
Say again?
When you go first?
I am going first.
Well,
I'm just trying to find
Well,
it in my
on
messages.
paper, the guy ticks a lot of boxes. Young, British, in form, not inexpensive. Let's
Brilliant
say.
name.
Good name. The right template for the sort of player.
Actually, I've just had an idea. Can you imagine if QPR decided, because we were saying Park, we decided to go for Korea, America, Washington, eh?
Sorry, you lost me. What?
Oh, I try to do it all the time. Why don't we market ourselves to Washington, DC? You know, QPR, forget Park, forget Asia, let's go for Washington. Go for America. Yeah, let's control. Let's go to the White House. Get him in the White House. Wear hoops.
Sounds like you want a job in QPR's marketing department.
Yes.
I think they'd sack me rather quickly.
Chris.
Yes?
I thought that was all right. Why not?
I've lost it.
Okay.
Hang on.
I mean, let's
Other
face it.
Chris Mendes.
Well,
Actually, thinking about it, sorry, that means we've now had Houston, Washington, and Austin.
Yeah.
yeah,
Have we had a player? Yeah.
yeah.
Manager. Well, kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah, yeah,
He
yeah,
was
yeah.
supposed to be manager, but Bruce Rioch was really manager. Anyway, sorry, Chris, go on.
I haven't seen a great deal of him, to be honest. I've seen some highlights of him scoring goals, but Adrian Durham, who's a TalkSport presenter, is a big Peterborough fan. He's been tweeting about him. He said, if someone had told him in the summer that they'd get 2.5 million for him, he'd have laughed, but it's sad to see him go. And then he sent another tweet, and that kind of made it seem like, maybe he's not that good. But
Hang on, he would have laughed because he was showing no signs that
because-
he would be worth that much.
Exactly, yeah. But since then, he said, the difference. Graham Wesley, who's the Peterborough manager, has made to Connor Washington in 4 months is remarkable. Proper coaching. Good luck to Connor. God, he's gone. And actually, Graham Wesley, their manager, looked him up, and he had his youth career for 4 years. He was at QPR as a youth player, but never made an appearance and moved on.
So I have a slight, not concern, but Charlie Austin, when he joined us, was proven. He had been at Swindon and scored a lot of goals over whatever it was, 1 or 2 seasons. Had been at Burnley, scored a lot of goals. This guy has been hot for 3 months.
Yeah, he's got 15 goals.
But not
this
much
season.
before that.
No, I finally got to it. My mate Andrew Tate, who's a season ticket holder for Peterborough, says, I guess you know his history. He played UCL football for St Ives 4 years ago. That's United Counties League, which is way down the pyramid. Then he went to Newport. This was his 3rd year with Peterborough. The first 2 years he worked hard but looked very average. It's only been since Wesley took over that he's looked a class act. Definitely a confidence player. He's quick, loves to get one-on-one with defenders, looks likely to go to the Euros with Northern Ireland. Paul's got his hand up. Their manager has been watching him a lot and told the local press he likes him. With the right service, you've got yourself a good striker. Okay. He reminds me a lot of Craig McAll-Smith with his 100% attitude, not scared to roll his sleeves up and dig in for the team. So on that evidence, that sounds all right. And he said he's gonna really miss him. He was confident promotion with him in the side. So and also he's a former postman.
Yeah.
So let's hope
So
he
he
delivers.
I can't believe he done that one.
And now he's waiting for other people to deliver to him in the box.
Hey. But the thing is, let's just go past that. But the thing is, he's been signed, sealed, and delivered, which is the main thing. That was even worse. I can't believe I did that. I'm going to shoot myself now.
Yeah.
The thing about him is that
He's
he's what we were saying at the start of the season. We wanted QPR. We wanted some of these players to come through. The likes of the new Les Ferdinands, unpolished gems we can get from the lower leagues, and the Andy Sintons as well that you mentioned, like Ferdinand, him, the Bardsleys, these sort of players you can get, which is what QPR did for 20, 30 years and did really well at. Stan Bowles coming down. So I think it's brilliant that we're actually going back to basics a wee bit and getting these sort of players from them and actually taking a punt on them rather than just getting someone else's cast off who's just going to come for a payday.
But isn't this what we did at the beginning of the season? And now, a lot like Ben Gladwin apparently was going to be, given all the help he needed, was going to be blooded and put into the team. He's gone out again on loan to Coventry, hasn't he?
Well, I think Gladwin was part of the Luongo deal, and I think it was kind of like a joint deal. And
Right,
I think
okay.
Luongo is the one they wanted, but maybe they
He
had
played
to
really
get
well
both of them.
Saturday. I'd like to see him and Fulham play together.
But why would Swindon want to lose him? I know he got loaned back to them, didn't he, Gladwin? But
Well, maybe Luongo had a big sell-on fee, or I don't know, they had to play it around a bit.
I know exactly why but I can't say. I still a lot of people. Why?
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
But Washington, it is a lot of money for someone who hasn't played at championship level yet. But equally, you can't really blame the club for that, because if they hadn't signed him, someone else in the championship would have paid that money, and then in a year or two from now, we'd be looking at it possibly and saying, "Oh, that was stupid. We didn't sign him."
It's a good deal. He's hungry. Let's face it. It's exactly what we want. And picking a number 9 shirt, if he's picked that himself and knowing the boots he's got to fill, fair play to him. Can't knock the fella for confidence.
Do we need more? So we've got him, Seb Poulter,
Jet.
well, he doesn't fancy Jet, does he? Clearly,
Cox.
or
Gregor Cox.
Yeah, Gregor Cox.
Got who else we got?
Gregor Cox.
Another reason
is you have him as someone on top of what you've got in the hope that he can break through.
Petrasso.
Who actually I think could be a good player, given time and encouragement.
You have to trust Hasselbank's judgment on strikers, though, obviously.
Well, yeah, you know.
And actually, Washington scored 2 goals against his Burton team back in November. They lost.
He clearly knows him.
Rare defeat for Burton. They lost 3-0 at home to Peterborough, and Washington scored 2 of those goals.
Burton knowledge.
But the thing is, the fans have to be patient. the thing is, but the main thing is, the fans have to be patient and give him time. There's a wee bit of arguments on Twitter, and sometimes I can be guilty of as well, where everyone's saying our fans are too quick to jump people's backs, and I'm always defending the fans because obviously I am one. And I think that we should give him time. We can't. If he has 10 games, he doesn't score, get off his back, leave him alone, encourage him.
QPR we always have time. They are a club that gives people
That's
time.
why I think on Twitter,
so long as enough time is 7 games.
Or 7 minutes. No, I don't think we're that. Are we that bad? Are we really?
By the way, where's the expectationsometer at the moment as far as QPR are concerned? Are we thinking? You know how the club changes this every 3 weeks.
1 win now.
Are we now going to get promoted? Are we expecting to?
We won Saturday, so I think they've asked Hasselbank for Champions League football next season.
Yeah.
I hope. Having disastrously got Austin's figures, I've still been trying to check those, but I haven't had any success so
It's
far.
only a podcast.
Doesn't matter. You know what will happen?
Cares.
We'll finish recording and Chris will say, "Oh, will you take out that bit where I said he got 7 goals for us this year?" Doesn't matter, Chris.
I get players' names wrong.
No.
He called someone Gareth.
Yeah.
We think it was Grant Hall, but we don't know. Could have been anyone.
Yeah, you're making too much. I'm just saying. I know, but I was just going to give you another figure. That was all.
Go
it
on.
was.
Come on.
But my maths might be wrong on this one. But the fee's supposed to be just under 3 million, 2.8 million, right? The Peterborough chairman says that Newport will get nearly 7 figures because they've got a 20% sell-on clause. But 20% of
3.5 million.
3 million doesn't come to nearly 7 figures.
It's 700 grand, isn't it?
So somebody somewhere is telling porkies or hasn't managed to add them. I mean, I'm no Carol Vorderman, but I think that's
Good retro reference.
Yeah.
There are maths knowledge that. Yeah.
Excellent.
I'm sure they've got a few.
She hasn't done
add-ons.
Countdown for probably a decade. It's good.
The new one's quite nice as well. As
Rachel Riley.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm sure they've got a few add-ons, and in Charlie Austin's contract, apparently there are a few more add-ons where QPR will get 500 grand if he scores 12 goals for Southampton this season,
Okay.
and another 500 grand if he gets into the England squad for the Euros.
Okay.
Is it England or any squad for the Euros?
Let it go, Paul.
Yeah, he's got a Portuguese granny, hopefully.
Sell for you.
Ostino.
Okay. Right. We are probably at the hour's end, I would have thought. I'm going to start just whilst we've been talking. The whole Washington-Austin thing got me thinking about QPR players with American place names. So I'm going to kind of put it out there, a bit of fun on Twitter, whatever, who can think of. Whilst we've been talking, I've got San Jose Basingua.
Right. Oh, I see you going down that road.
And Los Angeles. So anyone else,
He could do
any
better.
other QPR players, managers, coaching staff that has a name that shares a name with an American place, city, town, state, like Charlie Austin, like Connor Washington, let me know for no other reason.
Did you set the bar deliberately low?
that I didn't have an Oz end.
Okay.
I'll put out Rob Green card out there. I know it's not a state.
Rob Green card. That's good. Very good. Very good. Now you're all thinking, but we are recording, so we need to carry on.
Oh, no.
Right. R's End. Stop thinking of American
That's your
places
fault.
and states.
There's got to be a reference to Philadelphia there somewhere, hasn't there?
Yeah, if you can think of...
I mean, let's face it.
Philadelphia Parks.
Yeah, Philadelphia Parks. There you go.
You could say that some of our squads that got relegated have been to Pittsburgh.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Please, this is boring for people to listen whilst we are thinking of American puns.
Central Parks. There you go.
There you go. Right. R's End. Paul.
Isn't that just a coffee shop with friends?
No. It's a park in New York.
I know, I'm just taking a piss.
Go on.
First of all, I've got to say happy birthday to young George Sharp. I think it was his birthday on Monday, and he's 8. And he did that.
Sharpie?
Yeah, and that's not American, David.
Sharpmeister.
No, it's not. He's also
Happy birthday, George.
Yeah, I've also said that in half term you can come in and see how we record the podcast because he's a really avid listener and he's really into it.
8 years old.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. And he could be the youngest guest we've ever had on the podcast.
Is there a younger listener than that? Does anybody have anyone younger?
Well, I don't let
who
my
listens
kids
to it?
listen to it, so...
My dog's 6.
Right.
He doesn't count, does he?
So, happy birthday, George Sharp. We look forward to seeing you in here. Right. What else?
Definitely. And I don't know. I've got to apologise to all people who follow me on Twitter for my arguments with Old Big Head. They're ridiculous, I know, and I'm thoroughly brushed myself down, and I'm not going to get involved in any more arguments on Twitter with anyone at all.
You've got to stop talking to yourself, Paul.
Exactly. Look, I've turned over a new leaf, and no more arguing on Twitter.
Can I say something about this old big head guy?
Go on.
Not just you, but everybody out there. There is a very simple way, if you don't like it, and to make it stop. Don't bother with trying to track down who it is and conjecture about who he is. Just ignore the guy. Just ignore the guy. If nobody engages, nobody follows, nobody talks, it will go away. So if you don't like it, just unfollow the guy.
No, but which is fine, but then when you are being slagged off and so is your business, it's not so clever. And I don't like that. Slag me off all day long, call me everything under the
What's
sun.
he said then? I haven't really been following that much. Give us the headlines.
It's childish arguments, but it's kind of it's dragging people's businesses into it and people's livelihoods, and that's when it's way beyond personal.
So who is he then, this old big head?
Or she.
Or she?
We don't know.
Okay.
It's just someone who came around at the time of the Fording case, who was actually very clued up, so much so that a load of journalists followed him. So it's clearly someone...
Or her.
Yeah, or her, sorry.
Yeah.
Who has great inside knowledge of what goes on at QPR because no one else knew what they did at the time.
Okay.
And that kind of started the Fording case. If you track back through Twitter. But yeah, you're right. But anyway, all I'm saying is no more rows from me. I'm having you get dry January. I'm going to have a dry row, yeah. I'm not going to argue with anyone. That includes Chelsea fans, Linfield fans, anybody. No more arguing from me on Twitter with anyone. I'm going to be really nice and pleasant.
I'll give that until...
No swearing either.
Monday week.
Good. Monday, that far, that long?
Actually, okay.
Yeah, good luck with
About
that.
midnight, maybe.
No, actually, swearing...
You will have a row tonight before this podcast. Before anyone has listened to this podcast, you will have had a row with someone on Twitter.
The swearing bit, I think I might have gone a bit too far. So I'm going to rephrase that.
You can't swear because George Sharp listens to us and he's 8.
I know, and I feel bad. Someone in the pub, it's terrible, isn't it? I feel guilty now that an 8-year-old heard me swear so much.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible. At least in Belfast, by the time you were 8, you were swearing like a trooper while you were still drinking harp.
Harp.
Stay sharp to the bottom of the glass.
Very good reference. Anyway, the other thing is, on Saturday, can we please have some atmosphere back at the Rangers? Come on, people. Let's get some atmosphere back. It's been dead. It's been terrible. Come on,
Let's get Russ
happiness.
Abbott down. That's with the hat-trick of retro references.
I really think...
because he sang a song called Atmosphere.
Yeah.
There you are.
Seriously, Chris, you said last week's RZN was bad. You just absolutely mullered yourself.
I think we should do the Chris's in alphabetical order, which means Chris Charles.
Okay.
That completely threw me, that did.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Daniel Dick Ohio.
See? I like that.
Very good. Okay.
Hey, see?
Okay.
It's not as hard
We're
as
getting
it.
there. Send them in on Twitter at QPR Pod.
Yeah. Secondly, okay, you sort of touched on this earlier, but at the moment we are 11 points from the playoff, 10 points from above safety. So, and to be honest, I'd take that till the end of the season. That'd do me at the moment. I think we've gone through this sort of plan A, plan B, plan Z before, but it looks like we've arrived back at plan A, which was where we were at the start of the season. Now they've realised we're not going up. This could be a bit of a watershed moment. Hopefully offload a couple of players without leaving ourselves too weak in January, pick up a couple more youngsters and then carry on to the end of the season, then make a push next season. The second thing is, I spoke to Stan Bowles' daughter last week, and she asked me to pass on big thanks to everybody who took part in that little raffle we did and gave out the prizes. The whole family is really chuffed with the amount we raised, which is just under £400. And she also said the great man is doing okay. He's quite happy, and he's doing fine at the moment. So that's that. And talking to the competition, there was somebody, I think, who won a FIFA game whose address we haven't got yet. So if that's you, send it in. And it was.
I have emailed them.
I was away at the time, but it was supposed to be 2 FIFA games. So there was one person. I don't know if we've still got the names we can draw. Maybe next week, but there could be another one heading out to somebody.
Can I just add to
maybe we'll give it to George when he comes.
Can I
in.
just add, can I just add to my hours end of the show? You're going to have to now. You've said that. But anyway,
okay, it's yours, George.
Get well soon to my close friend who's beside me at QPR, Adam Bamford, is having a bit of a rough time. But also as well, we're talking about American states. Does anyone... I was talking to a mate about this the other day, and forgive me if I'm going mad. Does anyone remember Texan bars?
Yes,
From
I
the
do, yeah.
70s?
Chewy in the middle, yeah.
Thank God for that, because
yeah.
they'd convinced me that I completely gone insane, and I was talking absolute nonsense, and only available in Northern Ireland, like red lemonade and stuff. Okay, brilliant.
Right.
Red lemonade.
With the final R's end of the show, just before I come to you, I have these 3 words to say.
You go to your sugar wood.
You're sacked.
Do you want us to leave the room?
No. Robert Green Bay.
Oh, this is better.
Is that it?
Green Bay.
Yeah, no, that's
Go on, Chris.
I want to say, like, this is a bit of an aside, a former QPR player. It's nice to see Tom Carolina doing well for Spurs.
Very good.
He's starting to remind me.
That's a winner.
That's the winner.
Starting to remind me more and more of Jerry San Francisco.
Oh, he's got it here. He's got it here.
Yeah, okay, we might as well go home now then.
Okay. Anything else to say, Paul? You've probably got some service that you need to thank someone for providing you with.
Ridgewell Windows.
Ridgewell Windows and Doors.
Good QPR fan. This is
Can
the
I just
podcast
say,
week. Yes.
are you going to Stan Francisco? Stan Francisco?
Yeah, got it.
This needs to stop. By the way, everyone get your arses down to Nottingham on Tuesday, because the podcast crew are going and we're going to win. I'm telling you, it will be Tuesday. We will win our first game at Forest on Tuesday. My name's not Patrick.
Okay, thank you. We're back next Monday. Gabe, you going to be here?
Yeah.
Sure?
Are you planning?
You sure about that?
You're not flying anywhere, are you?
No holidays booked for the next couple.
Right. Thank you very much for listening. This has been Open All Hours, a QPR podcast. The QPR podcast is a West 12 Media and Burble Media production. The QPR podcast is sponsored by Florally Yours, based outside Harrow-on-the-Hill train station and run by Kerry, a QPR fan. They can supply everything you need in the way of fresh flowers and plants for every occasion.
QPR, Chris Rangers.